Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcat Sports Network. It's time to preview the 2014 McKendree University men's and women's cross country seasons, and we're pleased to be joined by head coach Mike Mendez. Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us and being here on the Bearcat Sports Network.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coach, let's go ahead and start with the men's side of things. Last year, first year of full NCAA competition, you enjoyed some success. It was on the individual side as Blake DeLong wrapped up a stellar career for McKendree, becoming the first NCAA Division II All-American, 17th place finish at the cross country national championships. However, Blake now has gone to graduation. Let's go ahead and talk about what you've got coming back. I know you have some seasoned veterans on the roster that you're looking to lead this program.
Yeah, you bring up Blake, and obviously all of that was wonderful. We had a great experience with him, and it is due to his experience, his and I's experience, I should say. When we were at that national meet, we both kind of said it'd be better to be here with a team. And that's now what we're looking for. I'm so proud that we had that, and we're happy that we had that. And the All-American, it's great. But even if we had a team there that wasn't going to place in the top, we want a team there. So he said he would have given up his spot to have a team there, because it's that kind of a meet, it's that kind of an environment. So now looking at, if we can get a Hillsboro boy from, a boy from Hillsboro, Illinois, to be an All-American, we're going to try and do the same thing with the kids from our area, and certainly from Illinois and the surrounding states. And that's kind of what you'll see. We've got a lot of young talent. We've got a veteran squad that had that leadership last year to follow. Certainly that work ethic, I think that's important as well, and to note. And so as we got Dylan coming back, a great leader for us. We've got Moses, we're going to see him do some great things, and Eric Career should be around as well. But I look at those two in particular to really set the tone, and they have already. And we've really brought in this team atmosphere that we've never had before. We've had some good team stuff, but the atmosphere is definitely cross country. Goofy socks and tattoos and bandanas and those kind of things. We're going to start to see those things here, and that's something that we've been missing over the last couple of years.
Pretty strong recruiting class too for McKendree. I know you made a prime effort to bring in some local and regional talent to help bolster that top five that you're looking at, especially as you work your way down the schedule towards the GLVC tournaments. Go ahead and talk about the newcomers and what you look for them to contribute this year.
Sure. I'd say that kind of the two rising stars are going to be Will McLemore and Benjamin Richter. They're going to kind of set the tone for that freshman class. We've got some people that are kind of, I don't want to say below them, but they're certainly along with them, that we try and find those athletes who are pretty undertrained, that they haven't quite had the experience, and we're looking to capitalize on that. And well, we may not see a lot of that, August or September now. It's early, but over the expanse of the year, as they continue to improve, Christian and some of those guys, I think we're going to continue to see some good things, and a lot of camaraderie is happening right now. And we've got a couple middle distance guys running across this year. May not be their primary, but from personal experience, you can still kind of make some things happen in cross. And so I think Chris Jackson from Belleville is going to actually, he might sneak in that top five, even though he doesn't know it yet.
You talk about building this team atmosphere, and that's going to be especially important as you head in later on into postseason GLVC competition, an ultra-competitive conference. Southern Indiana setting the standard. Obviously, I know you want to build to get towards programs like that, but what do you see as your goals right now, getting this team ready for 8 weeks from now when the conference meet is held?
Yeah, continued improvement. Today, we've got to meet today at USI, and it's a great place to be. It's where the regional course is going to be held. We want to be at regional, so there's kind of a purpose with that. And we certainly want to let this team know that, yes, you're young, but we are going to have an opportunity, if not now. You have your opportunity now, but you're going to have some more opportunities down the road to be a factor. So we're really trying to establish ourselves at this point. What we want to see is, how do you race here in September, and then how do we improve through to November? Because we've got months. We're talking 2 months till the conference meet this year because of how the schedule sets up. So we know we've got a lot of time to get better. We know that we're going to look at that. We're going to write everything down, look at splits, and then we're going to plan training off of today. So we're going to see how much better we can get.
That covers our men's program. Let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about the women's cross country program. A little similar situation in the fact that you lost some of your top runners from last year, Megan Doty, Lauren Ewert, not with the program anymore, but Hannah Inyard, who was injured last year, ended up taking a red shirt, is back along with Christine Cunningham, your two senior leaders on this team, and then a very young squad. The rest of the 11-person roster is sophomores and freshmen. Why don't you go ahead and talk about your leaders first?
Yeah, sure. We kind of say everything happens for a reason, and we're very happy to have Hannah. It would be a different dynamic, but Christine has made enormous improvements over the last couple of years, actually, and not just on the track side, but also with the leadership role. And she's vocal. I can count on both of them. We do a lot of stuff at practice, I'll call it stuff, and I can look to those two to just handle it, them as well as some of our leader guys, but them in particular. And so it's great to have that. I've had the program. This is the third year. They know what to expect. It's no longer a surprise. They know the expectations, and they know how to take the things that I say and put them into practice. And now I don't have to. They can show those leadership role, and they have. And so one thing that is unique about those two, I don't know anyone. Similar to last year with our top two, they put in the time. And with this sport, you got to put in the time and put in the effort, and they certainly have. And that's the example that I want them to set for that freshman class, because as you look back at those two's career, especially with Hannah, and you look at where did she begin, the kind of girls that she's beating, that she will beat this year, she had no chance at 4 or 5 years ago, especially from a high school level, because she's earned it every year, every summer, every winter, and that's the example that's actually most important, especially for these young girls coming in.
No juniors on the roster, but you do have some experienced sophomores that filled the back half of the top 5 last year. Why don't you go ahead and talk about some of those young ladies?
Yeah, the sophomore class, I look at them as more of a middle distance group, but they're kind of coming up for cross, which is totally fine. And with Karis coming back, Tori and Shut, that's a nice little group. We've got a lot of good personality there as well, with like Sam and some of the other girls that are coming back. And then now we've got this group of freshmen that can look at that sophomore class as they know how they're coming in. They've got this little, I don't want to say swag to them. They've got this little, this unique part about them where they can all, when it's game time, and that's important because you really step up in those venues, and that's what's unique about the sophomore class with Karis, Tori, and Shut in particular. They really show up in game day, and so although we're focusing more for them in the middle distances, they are going to be a factor. I want to see who makes the top 5, because we do have some girls now. We've got 7 girls who can make top 5. So now we've got a little bit of competition on the back end of our 5 or in 6, 7. We're going to see who can fit in there, and then the freshmen they've got a huge stage ahead of them. You never know with freshmen. It's hard to say. It's hard to get. It's easy to get excited, but it's hard to be right. With freshmen, because you never really know. We've got high expectations. We're going to sit one of our top freshmen out for this meet, and you'll see her come along in the next couple of weeks. Once we hit, we're going to open up at Wisconsin Parkside with her, but someone to look for today would be Karen Paisley. She could be number 1 if she wants, but I can tell you that Hannah's not going to let that happen. So that's the great part about this team. They're going to push each other, and when it's about that team and how well we can do, the other teams don't matter.
You seem to have that nice mix of veteran leadership with young up-and-coming talent. How do you see that playing out over the season as they begin to mesh? Obviously, they've had the preseason to train, coming together as you head down later in the schedule towards the conference meet.
Yeah. So how I look at our seniors is that they're as our training expands, I think they're going to start to capitalize on it. They've got the miles in the basin. What it happens to the freshmen sophomores is they're adjusting. They got to adjust to the training. So we may not see all those great performances out of them in the next 4 meets, but hopefully come conference we all come together. That's what I've seen over here the last couple of years, that we've seen some very good performances late in the season, and we expect those things, but we know we have some leeway to allow those freshmen to adjust to the training, and we're going to put in a lot of work over the next 4 weeks, because we got a lot to race for in November.
Well, Coach, it sounds like things are looking up for both programs, the men's and women's cross-country programs. Season starts tonight. That is September 5th at the Stegmoller Classic, hosted by the University of Southern Indiana. Coach, good luck this evening, and thanks for joining us, and good luck throughout 2014.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Fans, don't forget you can follow McKendree University men's and women's cross country as well as all of our 26 intercollegiate sports online at mckbearcats.com.